If you think it's hard trying to figure out the history of the human species, then buckle up, because in medieval times, history presented the mystery of the dancing plague, where people literally danced themselves to death. Yes, I said danced, like a tap dance or swing dance. Here's what went down, and what the modern medical community think caused it. This all happened in Strasbourg, which is in France these days, but back then it was still part of the Holy Roman Empire. On a hot July day in 1518, a woman named Fro Touffet stepped into the street and started dancing. Like, a lot. According to records, she danced without rest for between 4 and 6 days. We're talking no stopping to eat, sleep, or even take off her shoes. And people had started to join in. By the end of the week, there were 34 dancers, and within a month, the crowd grew to around 400. Because of the summer heat, up to 15 people per day were dying from exhaustion, according to some sources. Word spread, and esteemed physicians tried to figure out what was going on. Supernatural causes like demonic possession were certainly on the table. I mean, it was the medieval times after all, but the wisdom of the time settled on the medical explanation. The dancers had a case of hot blood and needed to dance it out. Are you laughing over there?
Of course it's not demonic possession, it's hot blood.
Sure. So to help these people out that were suffering from the hot blood case, a stage was set and musicians were brought in to give the dancers something to groove to. And it was an absolute disaster. These measures only seemed to encourage the dancing, and it caused the numbers to swell again. Finally, the plague passed almost as mysteriously as it arrived, after about 3 months of nonstop boogieing. So what happened? Today, doctors think it was a kind of culture-influenced, stress-induced psychosis. It's well documented that certain psychological maladies only arise in certain cultural contexts, and this type of compulsive dancing was probably an example of just such a thing. And we're not above that type of thing now. These days, we have psychoses such as Paris syndrome, which only affects Japanese tourists in Paris. It just goes to show how much of an effect your cultural surroundings have on your mind and body.
Hey, Cody, I'm going to have to call in sick tomorrow.
Why?
I got a real bad case of hot blood.
Do you? Do you have a fever?
Yep, and the only prescription is hot blood.